What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Good evening, folks. How are we doing this evening? Welcome once again to another episode of Let the World Burn Away. This is episode 3, Ferocious Mount. We'll see exactly what that means, I'm sure, soon enough. First off, once again, I am your GM, Ryan. Some of my Twitter handles over here somewhere, down here, my personal Twitter. And with me tonight is Curry Pants playing Io. Would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Curry Pants. I'm Curry Pants on Twitch and on Twitter and most other places you could find me. I'm an animator by day, TTRPG aficionado by night. Don't know what I'm doing with this lighting setup, but I'm here and I'm ready to play with giant robots. And I picked a giant robot.
The biggest robot. Well, not the biggest
I
robot.
picked
Oh,
the chonkiest robot I could find. for now.
apologies. I just dropped a few frames there. That's my bad because I tried to open something up. Yeah, I
It's
made a
game
mistake.
time. Hello
Yeah.
to all my friends in chat.
Okay, so let's see. Is there anything you want to shout out before we get started? I don't know if you have
No,
anything or
I
not.
shouted out my Twitch handle, shouted out my Twitter handle.
Okay.
I'm not on Twitch very often these days because work is getting to me, but you know, I've been on Netflix twice in 3 months, so.
God, that is painful.
Humble brag.
All right, so let's go over kind of what's happened to this point. On the first episode, we had Mac in 5009 of the Union era. He was rescued from a mission gone wrong on a planet where the sun was unstable and by now is probably exploded. Let's face it. And he was rescued by the Sunjammer. which we'll learn a little bit. We've learned a little bit about in the couple previous sessions, but I'm sure we'll learn more as time goes on here. He underwent a mission with the Sunjammer where he had to rescue the kidnapped governor, the kidnapped daughter of the governor, not the kidnapped governor. I can speak proper, I believe. And they managed to rescue her. And upon that, they had an odd situation where she didn't want to go back to her father because she had seen the ways of her father and wanted to help out the people a little bit. So the Captain Call, decided that it was probably, a good idea to let her go. And some things happened off camera. I'm sure we'll learn more about them, but let's fast forward a few years after that. Oh, not at all. Let's fast forward to 50012 of the Union era, where Simone Benez of the House of Thorns arrived at the Rainier Blinkgate and set out on a mission to an archaeological dig site of sorts that took him to the Akuta cluster. And there he started cracking open the gate to an old manufacturing facility. And as that was underway, these strange mechs appeared. They were somewhere between drones and actual mechs. And every time one of them was destroyed, it flashed out of existence and flashed back into existence. And this lead mech that called itself the Host Designate was in charge of this assault, claiming that they needed to protect the artifact. Upon the destruction of the Host Designate, all the other mechs fell to the ground, disabled. The Host Designate, on the other hand, exploded in a brilliant flash of blue-silver energy. Shortly after this, Simone decided that he was going to take apart those mechs that were left, and he kind of got an idea of how they worked, but it was very, very advanced, and it's not something he's yet quite able to comprehend how to attach to his own things. But perhaps more importantly, when they finally worked their way into the archaeological site, they found a deserted manufacturing facility that was completely powered down except for a single computer terminal in the depths of it. And there was a program running on it. Simone was unable to identify this program, but in it, he found these hallmarks that were similar to the remote-controlled mechs that were outside. What does this mean? Could this come back to bite the players in the ass? Who knows? We've got plenty of time to find that out. And now we move forward a couple years more as we begin episode 3. The year is 5015 of the Union era. Over 400 years ago, the tyrannical Second Committee government of Union collapsed, replaced with the more utopian-minded Third Committee. While the enlightenment of Third Com has reached many places in the galaxy, some quarters still hide the dark remains of the old government's ways of thinking. One such place is the Okuda Cluster. A rarity in the vastness of the universe, the Okuda Cluster is a series of a half-dozen solar systems unusually close to one another. Even with the fall of SecCom, the government of the cluster still clings to their ways of totalitarianism as the people suffer. But in the cracks of this broken system lies chances for those who are willing to take them. One such group is the Golden Star Company. Led by Captain Emin Call from the retired military vessel Sunjammer, the Golden Star does what they can to survive. In orbit over the planet Izanagi, a disabled transport vessel cries for help. Mere hours before crashing into the atmosphere, the Quetzalcoatl is boarded by a humanitarian team intent on getting the ship back up and running. And Io, you have been hired out to this particular humanitarian team, mostly because you know how to fix things. You're pretty good fixing things. And that includes people sometimes.
Yes, it does.
And you kind of need somebody to keep you fed. Jobs have come kind of scarce lately since the government has been cracking down since the rise of the anti-government league known as Ganymede. Those who can't really explain where they've been find themselves having more trouble than they might otherwise, and that description happens to include you, as I remember.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate name I have too, huh?
Yeah, it's
Considered.
mm-hmm.
Weird how that works out.
What has Isle been doing in the weeks and months prior to this particular mission?
Mm, a lot of it has been learning
Learning is good.
about both the circumstances in which she found herself, what she is able to do and not do, and how to drive the giant hunk of shit she woke up in.
And tell us about that so-called giant hunk of shit.
The first of her name is a Sagarmatha type frame with a lot of guns on it. A lot of large guns, a lot of heavy guns. It is an artillery unit in every capacity.
One might say it is
It is
even
large, and it
ferocious.
is not going anywhere. It's it's pretty fierce.
Yeah.
She's a hunky chunky. But yeah, Io has spent a lot of time just sort of drifting as jobs come up. She's sort of practiced a few things on first of her name, sort of retaught herself a few things. Um, I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. He has opinions.
Don't they all?
It's it's a you haven't fed me enough o'clock.
Isn't that all the time?
So yeah, she's mostly spent a lot of time just sort of being and figuring things out again. And yeah, a lot of drifting from sort of contract to contract, kind of, junking as she sees fit, doing a couple of maybe less than legal trades, and fixing the occasional broken bone.
Okay. Okay.
You know, own first aid kit. It's pretty handy.
So the little boat that you're on right now is a surface to space transport that is capable of holding probably a few mechs of the first of our name size. It's rather conspicuously empty though. You are the only mech aboard, the only Lancer aboard, in fact. But there are a couple other members of your team. There's a pilot for the ship. You haven't met them yet.
Mhm.
Basically, you've kind of been compartmentalized. There's another doctor, well, an actual doctor, and his name is Elliot,
Elliot, okay.
and he's mostly kept to himself up to this point. And there's another individual. His name is Linus. Sorry, Linus. I guess I should probably pronounce the names correctly. They're both about middling height. Linus is a little bit taller, probably about 6-ish feet, and Elliot's about 5'10-ish. And this trip is so far has been very boring. Everybody's kind of kept to themselves, as you're pretty much all just kind of pulled from a contract pool to do the job. Basically, you're working for you're basically just pulled in by
Temp agencies put food on the.
Oh yes, they do. And what your pilot over the radio called that it was probably going to be about an hour flight from the surface to the ship. What's Io up to in the meantime?
Well, she's excited to be going to space. Uh, planets don't feel right. Their natural atmos soupy and gravity's heavy.
Yeah.
Microgravity's a lot more fun. Maybe it's weird. A lot of people don't like the recycled air smell, but it's kind of nice. Um, but if most people are keeping to themselves, Io is not going to uh, breach their bubble, so to speak. But it's likely she's hanging around first of her name,
Okay.
going over it, picking away at things, fiddling with whatever comes to her hand. But if people are not going to approach, she's also going to respect their space.
Okay. I notice on your mech
Because
here that you have personalizations marked as a system. What are those personalizations that you have done onto your frame?
Let me read their parameters again, because at one point I knew and I had it in my head, but I am a bit of a dunce. Personalizations. 2 HP. That has no. I think personalization that Aya would have made is something more internal, but to edit sort of the external cameras so that when she's aiming her gun, sort of has a visualization of where any one shell is going to land.
Okay, so
And
sort of like
these weapons are inaccurate. It's more just to give her an idea. It's like, yes, you were pointing
It's
this
like-
in the correct direction.
it's going to land somewhere roughly in this half-mile radius, give or take.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
you lined up the enemy in the middle of this AOE marker. Good luck.
Okay. So can you give me a let me just double check and see what skills you have
Sure.
here are. Let's go with a hacker fix. And there's no consequences
Alright.
if there's a downside here. Target number is 10.
Okay.
You're just kind of tuning
So,
that
0,
system.
10?
Yes, 0, 0,
Okay,
10.
so 0, 0. Whoops. 10. Roll.
Okay.
21.
So that's pretty good. So what we're gonna say happens is you manage to refine it, but it's a temporary refinement.
Cool.
You kind of create a subroutine that
Right.
one shot you'll be able to get +2 accuracy on.
Ooh.
Once you use it though, that's it. So it is a temporary benefit that might be useful at some point, but it's one and done. So
Sounds good.
yep, it's just something quick, something that maybe you could build upon in the future. So
Okay.
Possibility to revisit it since you found an efficiency in your programming. And
Sounds
I-
good.
as you finish this program, the alert clacks and sounds, and the pilot's voice comes over the radio. We're on final approach now. You might want to strap yourself in. It could get a little bumpy.
I'm just gonna sit back in first of her name and just buckle up instead of like risking going somewhere else.
And from where you sit, you can see that Lioness very matter-of-factly latches himself back against a bulkhead where there's like a clip, and straps himself in, and he's very efficient in the way he does it. And something about the way he acts doing that just kind of says ex-military to you. And Elliot's a little panicky, and you see him trying to strap himself in, but like the seat not the seatbelt, but like the restraints you know how the like a seatbelt, you try to pull it and it does that thing, and he's kind of panicking.
Yeah. I'm gonna yell out, I'm gonna go, pull it slowly.
And he yells back, "What?" And just as he does, the ship lurches as it touches down, and he falls flat on his face.
Oh boy.
And the pilot's voice comes over the radio once more. We're down now. You're good to come out. Oh, cracking my...
myself and float. Are we in 0G or microgravity? Like, what's the gravity situation?
Microgravity.
Okay. I
in
will
the Lance
carefully
universe,
dismount. Yes.
artificial gravity is rare. It's kind of like the Gundam setup where there's usually 0G unless you're rotating, or
Yeah. Okay.
kind of like in the Expanse where when they're accelerating, you get gravity is down.
There's some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some ships
okay.
have the ability to generate a minor amount of gravity, and some structures are large enough that they generate their own gravity, such as the blink gates. But for the most part, it's kind of micro.
Okay, it's micro. Okay. Then I will carefully disentangle myself from First of Her Name and make my way down to Elliot just to make sure he didn't break his nose upon landing.
And as you're getting over, he's standing up, sort of brushing himself off, but even that small force is enough to kind of push him into the air slightly. It's very...
I'll reach up and grab his coat.
Yeah, it's very, very obvious that this is his first time in space. Or, if not his first time, close to. And
Yeah, he's not used to it.
he adjusts the glasses that he's wearing and sighs and goes, "Thanks."
You'll get used to it. It's an adjustment.
Yeah, I'd still be back planet side, but this was the only work I could find, so. And
let's get it done, and then you can be back planet side.
The hatch at the rear of the ship starts to lower, exposing the docking bay within the larger ship. And you hear over the comms, the pilot once more calls out, "All right, I'll keep the engine hot. Let me know when you're fixed. We've got, looks like 2.5 hours, according to system clock, before the ship's descent is irreversible. So looks like we're on a bit of a clock." And
well, gentlemen,
as you head towards the ramp, Linus comes over and he looks down at you and goes, "Okay, you're the fix. I'm here for the computers. Let's do this. Get this thing back running. If we can't, get the people, get them off. Sounds easy?"
Understood.
All right.
Yeah.
And he steps down the ramp, not even waiting, kind of does that half hustle jog. And even though in the gravity, the way he walks keeps him to the floor.
I'm going to look at Elliot and I'm going to say, if there's too many casualties, call me. And I will follow Linus, but go for where I think the engine is, I guess.
Okay. So as you come down, it's a rather large hangar bay. Your recovery ship takes up about a quarter of the of the hangar. And at each end, on the diagonal corners, are 2 corridors running out. And can you give me a stay cool roll to try to figure out which way you think, like try to recall where the engine room is on this kind of design. The consequence being you will waste... Yeah, the consequence being you will waste some time trying to locate it.
Right. 10. 9.
That didn't come up on my thing. What? Oh, now it did. That's weird. All right, so a 9.
There it is.
Okay, so instead of being able to get directly there, you kind of get lost and you have to loop around and back. And turns out it was to the left of you where you went to the right previously. Waste about an extra 15 minutes.
Nothing makes sense in space.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the idea of, you can feel the gravity from the planet tugging at you, and it's kind of threw you off a little bit as to what direction things would be. Because, normally your understanding, the tug of gravity would be towards where the engines are, but it's kind of the opposite because of the planetary gravity.
Yeah, it's tilted.
Yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
just kind of threw you for a little bit of a loop. So that unfortunately wastes 15 minutes instead of the 5 that it would have taken otherwise. And you come to the engine room. It's actually strangely empty. There's only one person working away on the engine, and he's got like really short, coarse, bright purple hair and tattoos that run along the one side of his face and down his arms, and they like glow almost like fluorescent.
Ooh.
As he works on the engines. And he's cursing up a storm. At least you assume it's cursing because you've never heard some of this particular language before, but the tone. It's the tone.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty universal, actually. I'm gonna get his attention by just knocking on the bulkhead. Just.
And after a moment, he kind of pulls his head out, and he's got like a set of earplugs in.
Oh.
And he looks at you, tilts his head, and goes, talking like he's almost yelling. Who are you? Oh, and he pulls the earplugs out, and you can hear the blasting of very heavy percussion coming from them. And he looks at you again and goes, "Oh, sorry. Who are you?"
My name's Io. I'm here to help. Assuming you're the closest thing we have to an engineer right now.
Yeah, I'm about the closest thing you got. Don't know where the hell the chief's gone.
I don't think I ran into anyone on the way here.
Nah, she's been gone a while. I don't know. Right after the incident happened, Cap tried to find her and got no clue.
What happened? I'm gonna walk in like I'm gonna come up to him. And I'm just kind of clock what's going on around to see like if there's a major problem that I'm seeing or if I'm trying to identify what he was working on, and I'm gonna say what did happen.
That's the funny thing. Like, engine just cut out, and like, I can't find why.
You mean it just stopped?
Yeah, engine just cut out, man.
Engines don't stop.
Yeah, not usually, but like I'm only rated for like ground vehicles. This is
Okay.
I've like some of the things, some of it's the same, but like I don't know how to work a fusion drive.
DM question.
Yeah.
Is there power in the rest of the ship?
So far, yeah, there's been power.
Okay. Just not to the engine.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, the engines are just not providing thrust. Like,
okay.
And presumably he would have disconnected any sort of power to the engines before tinkering around inside them, at the very least.
Before, sticking his face into it, Okay. Was the power supply to the engine compromised at all before you touched it?
No.
I believe you. I'm just gonna take a minute and think. And sort of let myself float while I do it.
Okay. Can you give me just a straight up roll? No difficulty, no accuracy.
Default?
Yeah.
Okay.
At a target of 10.
To do the thing.
Yeah, it's for just
17.
Okay. So, as you thought, engines don't just cut out. Usually there's a reason.
Engines do not stop.
From what
Especially when the rest of the ship is going.
Yeah. From what you can tell looking around, nothing seems out of order except where he's taken parts off to try to get into look in the internals.
Yeah. Nothing seems untoward. Yeah.
Yeah. And glancing around, your guess is that usually this ship would have an engineering crew of 4 or 5. Just from the complexity of the engines and the layout.
I'm gonna look back down at him. I'm gonna say, was the chief the only engineer here, or did she have a team?
Well, they're like, there's me. But I'm mostly, like I said, rated for the ground vehicles.
Yeah.
Then there's a chief. She takes care of the engines, but she's also got her assistant.
3.
She's up with the captain, though. They're trying to figure out, the computer problems on the bridge.
Okay.
Then there's Billy, but he's been sick since he ate the stuff back on Kanane, so hasn't exactly been able to show up for work.
Problem.
Yeah, that's about it. Chief says we always run a little short-handed, though. Ola says the captain doesn't quite have the budget that keep things going.
Okay, so pile of 4. One of them is missing, and the only one left with capacity is the only one who doesn't know what he's doing. Sorry, no offense.
Hey, none taken. I like I said, you give me a ground thumper, I'd be fine. But hell, if I know, one end of this thing from the other. I mean, power goes out there.
First. I'm gonna go check that part out.
Okay.
I guess what I want to do, nothing looks untowards. He said nothing's broken and the chief is gone, which leads me to suspect sabotage. But I don't want to jump to the worst conclusion. So I'm gonna say, did the chief have any problems with the captain as I'm kind of heading towards like the back of the engine room to work my way forward?
Well, like the normal type of things, like captain never listens
No,
when
like problems.
Like what kind of problems?
Like they didn't get along?
Well, just the normal stuff, like nothing that seemed unusual.
And she kept this room in good repair?
For the most part, like I ain't never seen it this tidy before, but yeah.
Is it not normally this well kept?
Well, it's well kept, but usually there's tools all over the place, and like parts off the engine. And she's working away and everything, always tinkering with the engine.
That's what you mean.
I think it's the first time I set foot in here and there wasn't, something being torn apart. Cap was always complaining about that. Nothing was ever, finished. Always another project.
Do you recall your chief complaining about one part in particular? And I'm gonna start not getting elbow deep into it, but actually investigating power couplings and.
Well, there was always
starting from where the power. I want to start where the power comes into the engine and work my way out from there.
Okay.
Because I know it's disconnected, but I'm looking for faulty parts.
Always always complaining about the capacitors and everything needing replaced, but that's a kind of a thing when you run as close to the margins as we do out here. And can you give me
specific? Okay.
You know what? Let's go with hacker fix on this because that's kind of what you're doing.
Okay.
I can see that how that would work. No accuracy, no difficulty.
0, 10?
Yeah.
And 10.
It's
10 on the dot.
That's a flat 10. Okay, that's good. I'll get you what you need.
If it passes.
And you follow the trace along, and
the whole time I do, I'm just gonna be asking questions, trying to talk through kind of
okay
the next thing to come up.
He is maybe a little unsure, but he gives you answers that at least seem like they're in the ballpark of what you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah.
But as you're going through, you notice this piece connects. Yeah, that's fine. Everything here is fine. Everything here is fine. The entire chain, you don't seem to find any issues. The only issue you can find at the moment seems to be that the power's not connected.
There's no faulty parts that I can see. Is the what powers the ship? Is it in the same room as the engine room?
Yeah, it basically,
Okay.
you know how in Star Trek you have the like antimatter drive in the center, and then basically the powers.
Yeah, the core is there.
Yeah, the power is basically siphoned off of it.
Similar?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So is the fusion drive itself functioning?
Okay, give me another hacker fix.
Okay. Whoops, that's the wrong window.
Yeah, exactly the same. A little bit too quiet. Let me see if I can.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
12.
12. Okay. You move over and you start following the parts. You see the where the split in the connection is. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, is from the engine room, everything at this end seems to be okay. And even running the diagnostics on the individual components, they're coming back green. As far as you can tell, the engine just kind of stopped working. Actually, let me put a little bit of a gain filter on you. Just the tiniest bit.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I talk to myself a lot. Curry talks to her a lot. Io does not necessarily. Okay.
All right, now you're a little bit closer to my volume.
So the reactor itself is fine. The connection between the reactor and the engines are fine.
Mm-hmm. The only difference is
the rest of the ship
seems
to be
there just seems to be no
the rest
power
of the ship seems to be being powered.
Yeah.
There's no power going to the engines. So I'm going to go now to the engines themselves.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Purple Guy, like, what's the general setup? Is there one like main engine and thrusters? Do they work tandem?
Like from what I understand,
how are your engines arranged?
There's a quad booster with a primary drive in the middle. That way, you know, we can easily turn. Basically gives us, you know,
Makes sense.
simple thrust in all directions.
Right.
As far as I know, they're all up to date, and you know everything's in a good repair. Just replaced 2 of the boosters, like last time we hit dock.
How long ago was that?
And you see him counting on his fingers, and he's like, "Well, subjectively, like 6 months ago."
Yes.
Okay.
I don't need to know how long it was in real life.
Yeah.
Doesn't
you know,
matter.
it kind of hard to figure out. Time gets a little wobbly when you're on long trips.
Yeah, I have some things to say about time. Okay, I'm gonna go to the primary engine, and I'm gonna start again methodically, like from the very back end, like where the things goes to work my way forward
Okay.
to it. So again, looking for not necessarily faulty parts, but like broken connections, any potential acts of sabotage, missing pieces.
Okay. A quick check. Again, nothing seems gone. Everything seems in pretty good repair. As far as you can tell, this thing should be working. All this should need to do is the connection between the two be reestablished and a command sent from the bridge, and everything should boot up and the ship should be moving.
All right. Am I aware of, I guess, is this entirely a hardware sort of dealy, or there's software involved in getting the reactor to talk to the engines?
There is an NHP involved in the process.
Okay.
For the most part, though, that is not directly resolved. The NHP just kind of manages the individual components and makes everything talk together and acts as the bridge between them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an operating system.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of curiosity, I'm going to try and plug the power back into the engines.
Okay.
Just to see what happens.
Going through all the process is about 10 minutes. Because of all the safeties and everything.
Yeah.
So by this point, you've spent about half an hour in the engine room in total, going over everything.
Yeah, I have roughly 2 hours left on my.
Yeah. And yeah, you managed to reattach it correctly. And you hear the confirmation signal that everything is hooked back up. The NHP chimes that the system is reconnected, but it doesn't. The engines don't spool up.
It's like it just doesn't turn on. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have a way to talk to either of the gentlemen that came with me? Do we have
Yeah,
radios or?
Yeah, you can just. There's a communication device of sorts that you would have been given.
Yeah. Okay. Just for my own reference for later. Maybe.
Yep.
Okay. No apparent structural damage. No apparent sabotage. There's just no power to the engines. Happened. And the chief engineer is gone.
Yes. Well, has not been seen since the incident, which at this point probably would have been about 5 hours ago. No, not 5 hours ago, but 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay, 3 hours. Okay. I'm gonna turn to Purple Guy and say, do you know where your chief engineer could have gone? Is there anywhere she likes to be besides here?
Mess hall, rec room, the bridge when she needs to yell at the cap.
Run and look, and if you can't find her, get your sick friend.
Okay, and he latches on. He holds onto the railing and pulls and propels himself down the human-sized corridor.
Okay. I'm gonna let myself float again and just try and think this through.
Okay.
Because either I'm missing a clue or I'm not seeing what's right. There's power, but not to the engines. No apparent structural damage. The connection is fine. The NHP says everything is fine. Nothing's missing. Potentially a computer virus? Not ruled out. I'm going to try and get a hold of Linus.
And you make the signal for on his channel, and it takes a couple moments, and then the line cuts open. He's like, "Yes," and in the background you can hear like bickering and arguing.
Take it things are going well up there.
Oh, as well as can be.
Have you investigated the NHP running this ship yet?
Well, that's the thing. Captain doesn't want me taking a look at it, and everything else is checking green.
Same here. Everything is fine. Except the engines are not getting power and their chief engineer is AWOL.
Yeah, like Cap said a couple of her crew are missing.
Oh. Good. If my purple-haired friend doesn't come back, we have a problem. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, one of my computer fans just, like,
Oh.
clicked on. I'm sorry if you can hear that. It scared the shit out of me. It'll settle down in a minute. Captain doesn't want you in the NHP, huh?
Yeah, it says something. It's something about corporate, you know, proprietary secrets.
Who the fuck are they working? Doesn't matter. Alright.
Well,
Something's not adding up here.
have you tried looking to see if you can get your mech hooked up to it? See if you can use it as a power source, independent.
I don't know if I can get her in here, but I'm gonna go try now.
Should be.
Okay, I'm
From
gonna
what I
leave
see the schematics, there should be a direct path from engines down
Alright.
to at least one of the docking bays. Looks like that's how they bring in new components when they need to.
Well, now I know where I'm going. That shouldn't be too long. Alright, I'll talk to you in a few minutes and I'll cut out. And I'll leave like the sticky note equivalent of BRB.
Okay.
And I will run back out to the hangar and hop in first of her name.
Okay. And
Put all
coming
the
back,
up.
it's very obvious there is a tunnel that's a fairly direct connection between where the docking bay you were on and the engine room.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been the quickest way before, but just got a little turned around. And yeah, as Linus said, this looks like the where they would have brought components in. And in fact, it seems like there's scratches, like gouges on the floor where parts have been moved.
Okay, I will get her chunky ass into the engine room, or as close as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Start.
Yeah, you can get cables. It outside the engine room. The actual door into the engine room isn't quite big enough, but you can run connection cables in.
Yeah, I will do that. And I will take the time to disconnect the actual reactor and do all the safety. I don't want to kill myself here.
No letting the thing breach. Can
No.
you give me another
hacker fix?
Yeah, another hacker fix roll.
Or inventor create. Okay.
Either or, your choice. Are you like because you're kind of creating.
I have hacker fix going right now.
Yeah. So yeah,
they're the same value. It doesn't matter. 11.
Yeah, simple enough. It takes you a little bit of time to get the connection going. You basically kind of have to hack together the connection between it and write a little bit of a software prompt to have one speak to the other and to have your CompCon speak with
NHP, go away.
Yeah, basically bypass the NHP. And it's at this point that your CompCon informs you that the engine has had its internal software modified.
I'm just gonna copy, can I copy paste that alert? Take a screenshot of it and send it to the bridge?
You'd be able to do about the equivalent of it.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to be like, click.
Okay. And Linus paused up a minute ago and it's like, that's what your CompCon's reporting?
That's what she's telling me.
Yeah, that kind of works with what I'm seeing up here. It looks like there's nothing wrong except something has disabled several systems.
Oh,
but
lovely.
the reporting back is green if we just do diagnostic levels.
It's the NHP. Something spoofed the NHP.
I suppose
Can you fix this?
I suppose that's possible, but NHPs maybe are beyond my knowledge. Would require a specialist.
I don't think we have to rewrite the NHP. We just have to make it We just have to get it to ignore us. Because we're going to have to rewrite the engine software.
We would have to somehow bypass the NHP that is intended to be the heart of every system on the ship.
Well, this heart doesn't notice that its appendix just blew up.
That is an apt description.
Do humans of this age even still have appendices?
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Ish. Maybe they would have an
Sure.
equivalent. The reference is not lost on him.
It seems to, okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, so the heart doesn't notice that the appendix just blew up. So we've got to cut the appendix out.
And at this point, you're probably running about an hour and a half.
Okay, the first thing I want to try is I want to try and copy software from the CompCon that runs first's thrusters into the engines, just to see if I can give it a turn on switch. Probably won't work, but it's
using
worth a
the
try.
connection, you are able to very briefly, you feel the thrum of the engines kick in, and then something overpowers the reprogramming, and they cycle back down again.
Okay, I'm gonna call Linus and tell him what happened.
I thought you had it going for a minute. Captain was very, very pleased, and you hear in the background some yelling. And you can't quite understand, again, that language, but it's the same language that purple-haired guy was speaking in. Yep. Same language, not quite the same voice, though.
All right. So I'm gonna tell Linus it was working, and then something overrode it. There's a virus on this ship.
I'm beginning to suspect as much. Every time I reformat a system back to factory properties, the changes reiterate within minutes. It would seem to me that
I could try flashing.
Someone did not want this ship reaching somewhere.
I could try flashing the engines a few times to change the orbit, buy us a little more time, but then we're gonna run into fuel issues.
Yes, at this point in the trip, generally this close to dock, I cannot presume that the ship has much fuel remaining.
Although a ship dead in space is a little easier than one crashed on the side of a planet. Okay, I'm gonna try flashing the engines a couple times, recopy the software in, 4 or 5 times in a row, just to try and reestablish orbit.
And each time you attempt to copy it in,
that's possible.
It takes a little bit more time, and you have to do a little bit more reprogramming. And they cycle back. They cycle back down quicker.
Did purple hair guy ever come back?
He has not come back yet.
Okay, I'm gonna page Elliot.
And as you do, you wait for a response, and wait for a response, and wait for a response. And you're doing this as you're working on the engines, trying to see if maybe you can force the software boot in, but there's no response. It's a good 5 minutes you wait.
Okay, now I'm worried.
Yeah.
Am I in possession of a sidearm?
Yeah, you have a pistol. Basically, whatever.
Okay.
I would assume what's on your list you have access to easily enough.
Okay. I'm gonna take a pistol.
Yeah, pistol would be the easiest thing to carry with you.
Can I tell my mech to to try and reestablish the engine software every like 5 minutes. Just like automate that, because I know I have to do a little bit more work every time, but can I get it to keep trying while I'm away?
You can give the commands to your CompCon unit, but
Yeah.
the CompCon is not very smart and will not be able to make constant change to the program.
Right.
It'll be able to keep uploading the program, but it can't make any changes to it. It is not
Okay, that's
smart
fine.
enough.
I just needed to try for a few minutes.
Okay.
But I'm going to take my pistol and I'm going to go to. I'm going to go try and find either Purple Guy or Elliot or the Chief.
Okay.
Because one of them is out, like, Purple Guy's MIA, the Chief has gone missing, and I can't contact the third member of my team, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's some good reasoning. So, is there anybody in particular? Anyone you're going to look for?
Looking for Elliot first.
Okay. So, judging from your knowledge of these ships, you should be able to find the equivalent of the med bay simply enough. And it's a much quicker trip than your trip to the engines, especially now that you've sort of oriented yourself with where the microgravity is pulling from. And you pull into the bay, and there's one frazzled-looking woman there, and a single patient strapped into like a bed, basically to keep them from floating in microgravity.
Ma'am? Bang on the bulkhead again.
Yeah. What?
Did you see my... Are you the only person here?
Yeah. Are you from that team we heard was coming aboard? Thought you'd all have a medic with you. Is that you?
We did. And he's not responding to my radio.
Is that not standard practice? He would have come straight here?
That's what I thought he did. He should have been here for about an hour.
You've been on that board that long?
Yeah.
Usually you wouldn't have had the engines up by now?
Running for a whole 30 seconds.
Felt the thrust, but I thought that was
I'm working on it.
I'm
working on it.
Imagination.
No, it wasn't. We have bigger problems.
That's not what I like hearing.
That's not what I like hearing either.
Bad enough, I got this poor boy over here, sick since Konane.
Why, what happened to him?
Says he's got, like...
Oh, right, he ate something bad,
abdominal pains and everything, but all the surveys we got say everything on that plant should be edible. Maybe just had an allergic reaction.
Can I run a patch?
Sure.
Just glancing at him? I don't want to invest too much time in this.
Sure, you can do a... Okay, so here's how it goes. You can do patch.
Yep.
If you roll 20 or higher, I will tell you exactly what's wrong with him. 10 or higher, you'll get a general idea. Otherwise, it would be a fail. Yeah, and you will just basically spend a bit of time doing it.
Yeah. I got an 18.
Okay, so he, doing the simple, feeling of the abdomen and everything. You can tell it's bloated.
Yeah.
Probably some sort of food allergy or food poisoning or something. He's definitely has abdominal pain as he like flinches as you touch him and kind of distended and very uncomfortable.
I'd say give him antihistamine and let him fart for a bit.
Whatever's happened to him, it's definitely kept him from doing his job for a while.
Yeah. He's the engineer guy though, right?
Yeah, there's him and Chief,
one of the and a couple other guys.
Her assistant
is he
down
conscious? There. Is he lucid or is he just like sleeping?
Yeah, he's like kind of there.
Okay. If he's not there, I'm not going to ask him questions. Well, no, I'm
No.
going to ask him one question.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's
say,
he's
who
like
has access to your NHP?
the NHP. That'd be like just us down in the
Captain.
engine room, Captain, and that's about it.
And what's the name of the guy with the purple hair?
Who?
The tattoos, purple hair.
Sorry, I just might know.
And I'm leaving.
Okay. And the doctor kind of looks after you, but you're gone too fast to for her to catch her attention.
Well, if she yells, I'll stop. But
Oh, she's not yelling. She was just like, "Hey, what?"
okay.
That kind of thing. But you're going.
Yeah. I'm going. Okay. I want. Shit.
And as you're heading back, you
Probably
feel the
looking at
ship.
An hour 15 left.
You feel the entire ship like shudder, and the gravity shifts suddenly, heavier, as if the ship very briefly accelerated downwards toward the planet.
I'm running back to the engine room.
Okay?
No, wait. I guess I would be able to feel if the engines were on, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd be able to.
It
Okay,
almost
so
feels like it was an external force.
I'm going to encounter at Farpoint shit here. Okay.
Like, not from the
Okay,
engines or any mechanics on the ship itself, but from outside the hull.
Something outside.
Yeah, exerting pressure on the ship.
I'm gonna ping Linus again, and I'm gonna ask, do you have external sensors?
Everything just went dead.
Fuck.
Got
Okay, I'm running back to the engine room now.
And you hear shouting from down a hallway.
Yep.
Can't quite make out what it is.
Okay.
And the ship shudders again. That very brief acceleration, pushing you closer to the planet.
Okay.
You do some very quick math in your head, and you think between the two bursts you've lost 10, 15 minutes somewhere in there. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell exactly without data.
I'm looking at roughly an hour.
Roughly, based on your head math on the fly.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Joke's on you. I'm keeping notes.
Well, yes, but you're not quite sure about how much time was lost because of the acceleration.
Yeah, just kind of judging based on how the difference in the gravity and
Okay. You know enough about engines that you kind of can guess from the gravity how much thrust was applied and from how long it was applied.
Right. Okay. No, I'm gonna run back to the engine room.
Okay.
Pistol in hand, not pointed up, but like.
Okay.
I'm ready to shoot somebody if I have to. You said I heard shouting. Was it near the engines or in a different direction?
It was coming from another direction.
Okay, I'll go follow the shouting. I know my way back to the engine room now, so I'm going to follow the shouting.
And at this point, the sirens begin to blare, and you hear a voice come over the comm system. Attention crew, this is the captain. All hands to the docking bay 9-4. We are withdrawing. Repeat, we are withdrawing.
I'm gonna. Oh. Is it faster for me to chase the shouting or go back?
Probably go back at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna go back because I have to disconnect everybody, right?
You'll have to disconnect your mech and everything.
I have to disconnect. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
And a minute later, Linus comes on and goes, "Look, I was just speaking with the captain. I think we may have saboteurs aboard."
Problem?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. That's what I thought too. I'm missing 3 people.
The captain just had crew members return from the cargo hold, and their primary cargo is missing.
Yeah, I'm missing 3 people.
That is not all we will be missing if we do not withdraw
I'm
immediately.
talking while I am frantically pulling
And
cables out.
even though he sounds calm, you can hear the sounds of slight like breathing and footsteps, like he's
Yeah.
moving, he's running.
Moving. Yeah. So I'm
And
gonna say
then
I haven't been able
hear
to make contact with Elliot.
that sound like something's muffling his mic for a second, and you hear him speaking
Yeah.
to somebody else.
Okay.
And you can't quite make out the voice, what either voice is saying. And then his line goes dead.
Oh, fuck. Do I know where he was?
Not directly, no. He was supposed to have been on the bridge,
Okay.
but then he was clearly moving.
Yeah, he's clearly on the move.
Yeah.
How big is this ship?
It's a fairly large ship. This is a large size transport vessel. The actual crew section,
Okay.
however, is fairly small.
Okay, yeah, I'm just wondering how long it will take me to get around it is kind of what I'm getting at.
Depending on where you're heading, in your mech, it might take a little bit to get you back to the hangar.
It'll take too long. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't take long, but it will take some of your remaining time.
Of which I do not know how long I have.
Correct. And at this point, the captain has ordered a withdrawal to
Abandoned ship.
Yeah, and the docking bay that she asked they return to is the one that you your recovery ship is in.
Okay. I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go back to the bay in Sagarmatha, or in First of Her Name.
Okay. And as you bring the mech down the hallway, another mech appears out of the side hall and sidles up behind you.
Up.
And as you pull up your gun, you hear
behind me.
like to the side. It comes out the side, just beside you.
Okay.
And as you activate your weapons to, possibly fire, you hear
just posturing. Just posturing.
Yeah, set of clicks over the communications system, and this blue to yellow mech, the comm opens from it, and you hear Linus speaking. Don't fire.
You scared me. I thought you
And he transmits text that contains contains instructions to move to a encrypted direct channel.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
And now that you're on an encrypted channel, he looks at you and says, "It's time, perhaps, to explain. My name is not Linus. My name is Marcus. This ship was carrying a recovered computer system back from an archaeological dig on the moon of Kanane. And my operative on board believes perhaps the central government has decided to eliminate those who were aware of the recovery.
I see.
I would suspect we may find resistance upon our return to the docking ports. It would likely be in our best interest to provide cover for the crew to ensure they appropriately reach safety.
So am I killing saboteurs or not?
Anything that shoots at us, we shoot back.
Do you need me to take any data off this ship?
My operative has recovered what they can.
Is she why the engines don't work? Or is he why the engines don't work?
No.
Okay.
She was
getting
here
things together
simply
in my head.
to ensure the safe delivery to research facilities on Izanagi. But clearly, CentGov had other plans.
Well, I was down for shooting a government-issued ship.
And behind him, you see groups of the crew huddling together. And one of them is a woman. You know, you probably know the description I'm about to go here for at this point. But all you can see from where you are is the large gun she holds and the shock of blue hair.
Girl after my own heart, stealing my shtick.
And
All right.
this will be the point where we will take, say, 5 to 10 minute break. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to be, but
Okay.
we shall be back shortly. Hope you all stick around, and we shall see you after the break. And we are back. All right. So, quick recap. Something was wrong with this vessel, the Quetzalcoatl, that recovery team came aboard. Their engineer, Io, took a look over the ship. The engines, everything seemed to be fine. Then, as she poked around a little bit, she realized that the engineer she had talked to was not actually a member of the crew at all. And there was some external acceleration. There's roughly about an hour before actually less than an hour at this point, before the ship is going to be unable to be saved. But the captain has ordered a withdrawal. And it was at this point that the other member of her team, Linus, has revealed that his name is in fact Marcus, and his mech was somewhere. He got it from somewhere. And he explained about the fact that it seemed like a government agency had snuck agents aboard and not only stolen the primary cargo of the ship, but also sabotaged it, looking like they might want to kill all the people aboard who knew something about this cargo in the process. And we pick up right there as Marcus, call sign Europa, and Io, call sign Nova, are moving to escort members of the crew to safety. And let's just, why is this? All right, we'll jump over to the virtual tabletop. This is what we currently see. It's a little bit harder for people on stream to see because it's blocked out by Discord, so I'll move that slightly. So this is what you can see as you're coming down the corridor towards the docking bay. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. This is docking bay 9-4. This here. Let me get it to the right screen. This here is the rescue ship. This is the first of her name, which is Isles mech. This is Europa. And this is one of the groups of crew. There are several other groups of crew who will come on the edge of the map here shortly. there are 3 mechs blocking the exit. And the course of action for Io and Europa is to safely escort as many members of the crew as they can to the extraction vessel. So basically get them past this group of mechs here and get them to here. That shouldn't be super difficult, right? That should be simple enough. One would hope.
My guns come in one size.
Blow everything up.
Enormous.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we're in combat time now. In combat time, just as a quick explanation, basically players go first. The way initiative works is players will go first. One player will act. It is the players as a whole make this decision as to which one will act. Once one of them has acted, an enemy will act. Then after that enemy has acted, a player will act, and back and forth. The side which ends the round, the opposite side goes first in the next round. So because as you can see on the field right now, there are 3 enemy mechs. The way it works, players will start the second round. So players will start the first round, and then players will also start the second round. And then once we start losing enemy mechs, things might change, or more mechs join the field or whatever. So, Io, as it is a player's turn, and you are currently the only player, either you get to go first, or you may have Marcus go first. The crew members will move at the very end of the round, and all they will do is move, except for this one crew member right here who has a gun. She will, every other turn, shoot a mech that is within range and do some damage. So, but that happens after everybody else has moved. So, it is your decision whether you want to go first or if you want to have Marcus go first.
I would like to go first. I just have one quick question about action economy.
Yes.
I can do 1 action or 2 quicks, right?
Yeah, you get 1 move. You can do a full action, or you can do 2 quick actions. And then you may do as many free actions as you want.
Okay.
You can do a protocol at the beginning of your turn. 1 protocol.
Okay.
And once per turn, you may overcharge and take some heat, but you get another quick action out of it.
Right, okay. I would like to go first.
Okay.
Let me just measure something here. It's from the top, right?
Yes. Well, no, you can measure from any point on your mech.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hello, can I move you, please? Why aren't you moving?
Sorry, you're trying to move your mech? If you're trying to move the mech, then yes, you have to you have to hold it on the top square. It's
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were measuring.
She's not moving. No.
Oh,
Clicking and dragging.
Sorry. I forgot I copied you over to this map. I hadn't given you permission to control your mech yet. There you go.
Excuse me, to turn her on. Okay.
Yeah, just
I can move.
this is not that rating of a show, thank you. Okay. We are currently rated PG-13, I think.
2, 3, 4. Is it 4 and then stop, or do I have to stop on the 4th?
Let me just. I think your speed is 4, so you finish on 4.
I finish on the 4th. Okay.
Yep.
I'm moving there. I'm going to take 2 quick actions. The first is going to be raise the banner. So all allied characters in line of sight of your mech when you do this gain resistance to all damage and heat, gain +1 accuracy on all checks and saves.
Okay.
This lasts until the end of my next turn, so Marcus will have
Okay.
a little buff.
Can you click on your mech and click the macro that says
Yes.
that, so it shows up in the chat?
Where is it?
It's under
Egg shop
systems.
thumper, raise
Core.
banner. There it is.
Yeah.
Got it. Raise the banner.
Yeah, that way
Okay.
everyone can see that's watching can see it.
And then for my second quick action, I'm going to deploy my Jericho deployable cover.
Okay, so 1 second, let me just.
It's size 1 hardcover in free spaces adjacent to you and to each other.
Okay, let me go grab
And
that.
I get 2. I get 2.
Okay,
spaces to
can
drop.
you point where you want them?
I'm going to drop one. Oops. Is it shift or control? Space.
Space.
I'm gonna drop one here.
Here?
Yep. And then one here. So I want to like narrow the.
So like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just narrow the shot lines pretty much.
Okay.
Those are hardcover. They have an evasion of 5 and 10 hit points each. They can be targeted and destroyed individually.
Yep.
Sections of cover can be picked up again, and repairing the system repairs both sections.
Do you want? Can you just hit the button for that as well?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I thought I did. I
oops.
was just double checking.
I messed up the. I'll
That's
fix
okay.
that later. That's fine for now.
It's okay.
Oh, so they
those are
they
move
have
to
to be
quick
adjacent.
action.
They have to be adjacent to each other.
Oh,
so-
to each other. Okay.
Yeah. So you can like that, or
No, move the higher one down.
this one there.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just to give the civilians something to hide behind, and then
Yeah.
narrows shot lines in. So, okay, that's going to be my turn.
Okay.
And adjacent allied units can use me as hardcover as well.
Yes. For the purposes of cover, the crew members will consider you to be allied. Like they will get the cover from.
Yep, they'll get the cover bonus. Yep.
Okay. So before I decide who's going first, let me just do some quick measuring here.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, just doing some measuring.
No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
That's it,
Now,
that's it.
things might get a little deadly. How this works. Okay. Just check how far he moves. He's speed 4. All right, so the scour is gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he's only gonna go. Well, let me double check. He's moved 3. So he's gonna move 4. So
Okay.
hardcover grants 2 difficulty when you're firing at somebody that's behind it. And he is going to fire his thermal lance at you. You are just within range.
Okay.
Thermal lance. He has 1 accuracy from his weapon, 2 difficulty from the hardcover. And what is your evasion?
My evasion is 8.
8. Oh, right. So he fires this blast of basically weaponized heat at you. It goes out of control. It seems like he's not used to firing this thing, though. And it kind of goes wide and hits the wall next to you. And you see the wall just start to
Sounds
drip
good.
as the metal melts.
I hope this is not an exterior wall.
I know this is an interior wall to the ship. That
We don't have to worry about vacuum yet.
is his movement and his full action for that. So, one thing I didn't explain. Can you right-click on your mech, go to state, and click turn marker?
Oh. Go to state, turn marker.
Yeah, basically that's just how
to
we
see
mark.
that I'm gone. Okay,
Yeah, and then
who's gone? Yeah. Okay.
Next turn, we'll take the markers off to mark who's gone. So
Okay, makes sense.
now it is Marcus and Europa's turn. Come on, there we go. He's speed 4. He comes charging up beside you, so he gets
For those listening, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, for those listening, we named these characters independent of each other. I had no idea he was going to name robots with other moons of Jupiter as call signs, or I might have picked a different name.
Oh, it
But
just
it is
makes
what it
this
is.
this whole thing so much more interesting.
Yes, it does.
He's going to heft his assault rifle. No, wait, is it his? No, he's not going to use his assault rifle. Yes, he is, because he charged towards you first. So he's going to fire his assault rifle at the Scourer, who has an evasion of 8. No accuracy, no difficulty. 8. Ooh, that is a critical hit. So that does...
Hey, it's my boy.
That damage we're actually going to increase to 6 because of I haven't finished writing the way critical hits work properly into these macros yet. So we're just assuming every critical hit is maximum damage until I can fix that. So that is a solid 6 damage. But it looks like maybe some of the bullets kind of scatter off the hull of this Scourer. And for his second action, his second quick action, Marcus is going to he's going to toss a grenade. No, he's not, because he can't reach that far. Instead, he's going to... Yeah, this is... Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer, that's why. He is going to... He's going to put a lock-on status on... not status, but a lock-on condition on him. So
On
basically...
which one? Okay, I see.
You can either you or him can consume that lock on to get 1 accuracy on your attack.
Okay.
So that finishes up. That finishes up Marcus's turn. So now it's these guys. They've got they lumber forward very slowly. Well, we'll do... I guess I do one at a time, even though they both will get to go. Sensor range 8. Wow. Okay. This one is going to put a lock on this. On your...
Okay.
on your Jericho deployable. And
Okay.
that is literally his turn, but he has this cool thing called Fire Break Shield. At the end of his turn, he basically creates a line from him. Oh, that's not the... That is... Oh, that's... Where's the... Ah, there it is. I was sorry, I was looking for the icon for it. He creates a line that is 4 long, 4 spaces high,
Okay. Okay.
and basically it acts as soft cover to anything on the other side.
Okay.
And even on top of the soft cover, you also miss on a 4+, but that counts both directions.
Okay.
And the other, that makes it the end of... Oh. Sorry, I put those tokens on the wrong layer.
Yeah, because I can't see.
There you go.
So it's 4
And-
spaces high?
Yeah, it's
Sir?
it's 4 spaces high and 4 spaces long. Basically, the idea is that he's kind of creating like a literal line of fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's his turn, because that happens at the end of his turn. And then this guy's
Okay.
going to lumber forward.
Okay.
He will put a lock on you.
Okay.
So click lock on. That's going to drop. Lock on you. At the end of his turn, he's also going to do the same thing, but he's not able to fill them all because it's only in free spaces within line of sight. So basically, he creates that line there,
Okay.
and that marks the end of his turn. I have to make it. I'm gonna add macros that you can just click on and say, "Hey, it's my turn. My turn is done," instead of having to dig through
Yep.
there. So it is now
No worries.
the end of the round. So the crew's gonna move.
Okay.
Okay, this crew moves 4. Speed 4. What is the range on
Okay.
her weapon? Let me double check. Because as it turns out, this is the one single thing I did not write down is
the range of this girl.
just the range on her gun.
Who's gonna win, guys? 3 giant mechs or 1 shooty girl?
She actually can't shoot because she has an
Oh.
ordnance weapon, so she has to shoot
shooty girl.
before she moves.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
She has an ordnance weapon? What is she carrying?
It's like a heavy gun, but it's ordnance for a person who's standing on the ground.
Okay.
So it's maybe not as powerful, for example, as your guns, but this is also a person standing on the ground.
She went
on a
through
giant
a
mech.
railgun? Yes. Okay.
And it's the end of the turn. It's the end of the round. So the rest of the crew all now come into view on the map. Let me just
Okay.
rearrange this slightly. I'm actually going to turn off the tags on the stream view because there's a lot of stuff going on here at once and it was getting hard to read.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, and they're each going to move 4 as well if I get to the right token. So that counts as 1 moving onto the map, so they move 3.
Okay.
All right, so the NPCs went last in the previous round, so
Yep.
once again, it is now your turn. And
Okay.
you get the option who
Sorry,
goes
go.
first.
Okay. I'm going to go first again.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my howitzer heavy mount to bear. It is
Arr.
arcing.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I can do this. Yes.
Okay, so
Just let me read to make sure that I can do what I want to do.
yep, it is a blast 2.
It is a blast 2, it is arcing, and it is inaccurate, but I'm going to target the guy with the lock-on on him, and I'm going to use the software adjustment I made earlier to increase my accuracy.
Okay, are you also going to consume the lock on?
Yes.
Okay, so
Heavy howitzer. So value for accuracy is going to be plus 3, I think.
1 second here, because here's the thing.
Yep.
This is a blast
Unless
2.
I'm not allowed to use this lock.
Well,
It is.
so let's bring this in.
Okay.
This is what you hit.
That should hit all 3 of them,
That
right?
does hit all 3. So you will make this roll 3 times.
Okay.
One of it will be at 3 accuracy, and the other ones will be at 2 accuracy. So the 3 accuracy is against the Scourer because it will consume the lock on.
Okay. Yep.
And
Okay, I'm gonna roll the Scourer first, and then the 2 Pyros.
okay, so we'll roll for Scourer.
1 difficulty because it's inaccurate, and 10 to hit.
Just a second. It is an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Just enough.
That hits, dealing 4 explosive damage against him. And then
Yeah.
I just roll the attack twice more for the other 2.
Yeah. Both will get 2 accuracy.
2 accuracy, 1 difficulty, and 8 to hit.
Yes. Also note that this is your full action for the turn because it's a heavy weapon. So that
Yep,
hits.
that's fine.
That's
fine.
I'll assume that's hitting this one.
15. Yes.
Okay, so
And the third one, 2 accuracy, 1 difficulty, 8 is the hit, and the third one misses.
Okay. So yeah, the third one misses. The other 2 mechs, even though you hit them, they seem like they shrug off some of the damage.
Okay. Do I get a movement after that?
Yes, you do. But that's the only action.
I have to shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3.
You can overlap
there.
the wall if you want. Okay.
Okay. No, I'm gonna move there because it is taking up the most amount of room,
Okay.
and it still gives Marcus avenues to get by me. Because
right,
again, if you're next to me, it counts as cover. That also should count for the civilians.
Yep.
So that's going to be my turn. Just gonna make a note that I have to reload the howitzer.
Yep. So that'll be a stabilized action to reload it. So
Okay.
just clear your turn marker, and that'll be your turn.
Yes. Okay. State. Okay, we're done. Or we're done. I'm done, rather.
All right. So
Marcus's turn.
No, it's one of the bad guys.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. We're gonna make it be this guy, the one who took the hit. So that's going to it's going to get rid of those 3 because it's the start of his turn.
Okay. Right.
Let me just measure. Little do you know.
Oh, also, Marcus's raise the banner buff is gone now because my next turn is over.
Little do you know, you walked into his trap. So this guy no longer has to move.
Oh no. Okay.
He doesn't have to move to do his shtick.
Okay.
And he raises his giant underslung flamethrower and releases a burst of flame at you.
That's a spicy burrito.
Oh yes. Let me get to the right layer so I can select the token. Okay, let's see. No accuracy, and he's gonna consume. No, he's not gonna consume the lock on.
Okay.
Your evasion is 8.
My evasion is 8.
Okay. Oh, that misses. Somehow, despite the large bulk of your mech and the fact that this thing is just filling the corridor, his blast of flame just
It is just a heat sink.
Yeah. Oops, what did I do to this token? Where did I move it? Okay. I moved it to the wrong layer.
Do I count as engaged, by the way?
No, those are not like characters, they're just like basically a line of smoke and fire, yeah.
Okay.
So that actually will give him some heat though.
I guess what I mean is engaged means I have to be like in punching distance.
Yeah. Yes.
Just checking.
Okay. And he is going to put let me just double check that weapon. Flamethrower, it's a heavy, so he can't do it. He doesn't get to do anything else. So he's actually going to stay exactly where he is. The end of his turn,
Okay.
he drops another line of this nope. Oh, crap. Yeah, he's got to put it back where it was.
Okay.
Because otherwise he can't drop it anywhere where it's actually useful. All right, that's Marcus's go. Marcus is going to open up the round by firing his anti-material rifle at that pyro that just went. I'm actually going to click his ability again so that I have it there to read. The anti-material rifle just basically roars to life. And wow. That
stings.
just barely hits, and that is armor piercing. This mech straight through the cockpit. Marcus's shot is perfect, and it crumples to the ground. I don't have a marker for it, so we're going to give it a I'm just going to put that on it, the down and out condition.
Okay.
That neck is gone. It still stays on the battlefield, and you can use it as cover.
Okay.
That will also get 1 second. Sorry, that'll also get rid of its wall.
Okay.
Of smoke. And that is Marcus's actions, but he gets to move still.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just. He moves 4. I should know this by now. So he's gonna move there, and he's actually gonna overcharge. So he's gonna take 1 heat to get another quick action.
Okay.
And he is going to use that quick action to fire his assault rifle at the Scourer using thumper ammo.
Nice.
So now, does he draw his... Yeah, the shortest line to the target involves going through the smoke, so he has 1 difficulty on his shot. No accuracy, 1 difficulty against a target number of 8. That does actually... No, that doesn't hit. Yeah, that doesn't hit. I don't know why it's green. Wait, it says unresolved value accuracy. I don't know. This is... Anyway, that is what the number should be. It rolled it properly. So it does not hit. That therefore is oops, that was the wrong thing to put the turn marker on. That finishes up Marcus's turn. That sucks, because that was Marcus's little thing that he was going to do. The Scourer is not going to move. Wait, what? Sorry, 1 second. I'm just rereading one of his abilities. I need to see how it works. The wording on this confused me for a second. That's the end of, okay. So, the Scourer's cooling module triggers. At the start of their turn, the Scourer clears all heat if they haven't moved, including involuntary movement, since the end of their previous turn. So he clears all of his heat that he generated. And he's going to fire his heavy cannon again. His thermal lance at you.
Okay.
So no, he's going to consume the lock-on. So he's okay, no difficulty. And target number 8. Okay, that does.
Ooh, that hits.
That does 6 energy damage
That stinks.
to your mech.
Okay.
That is a very solid hit.
Okay, so what do I take down now?
You just mark 6 energy damage, 6 damage to your HP.
Okay. Okay. My HP. Ow.
Yeah. That does, however, actually. And then he's going to withdraw 4. And that will be the end of his turn. Okay, so it's the other Pyro's turn. So I'm just going to leave this token on the side so I can cut and paste it easily. Those ones disappear. He's not going to move. But he is going to fire.
Okay.
Oops, that's not. All right, so let's move this token back to there. So he hits both of you.
Okay.
With this, let me double check and see if Marcus has. I do not believe that Marcus has a lock on. No. So he's going to fire at Marcus first and then at you.
But he's... Okay.
Yeah, he has heavy
Marcus
cover.
does have hard cover by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's next to you. So that means 2 difficulty against evasion 8. Flamethrower. 2 difficulty against evasion 8. Does not hit. And he's going to try it again. It also hits. It also attacks you. No accuracy, no difficulty against target 8. So that does hit you though.
Ow.
So you take 3
3
damage. Yeah, and you are burning for 3. And
Okay.
essentially, burn damage means that. Let me just double check how it works exactly, because this is the first time it's
Okay.
come up. Burn. Where is burn? I was just looking at it, and now I can't find it. Ah, great. So to the index we go. Burn. Page 67. All right. When characters take burn, it has 2 effects. First, they immediately take burn damage, ignoring armor, and they mark down the burn they just took on their sheet. At the end of their turn, characters with burn marked must roll an engineering check. On a success, they clear all burn currently marked. Otherwise, they take burn damage equal to the amount of burn currently marked.
Ooh, fucking suck. Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Right. So yeah, you're hurt. If I'm not
hurting
correct,
cancer.
if I am correct, if you burn, you'll pop through your first point of structure, if I'm not mistaken.
I will pop through my first structure point. Yep, currently have 3 hit points exactly.
Okay. So that is his heavy, and he is going to step backwards with that. Okay, so.
Bugger.
Oh wow, that puts him out of range. Ooh. These guys, since it's the end of the round, these guys are going to move, but nobody has. She doesn't have range without moving to be able to shoot. So now, once again, it is your turn. Oh wait, I forgot to drop this in a straight line. Technically, it can't occupy that space because there is a mech there, so and it can only go in free spaces.
Yeah. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to let Marcus go first this time.
Okay. What is he gonna do? That's a good question. Marcus gets to go first. So he can't fire his anti-material rifle again, as it is loading. He is going to okay. He is going to move to there.
Okay.
He is then going to barrage. No, wait. Yeah, he's going to barrage. So he's going to use thumper ammo with his assault rifle against the pyro.
Okay.
No accuracy, no difficulty against target number 8. Marcus, please.
Marcus, please!
But he does do reliable damage though.
Okay.
So some bullets hit the mech still, but they kind of bounce off. Some of them bounce off, some of them hit. Actually, no. None of them seem to penetrate. I just read the armor value for this thing. But
Marcus, please!
he's also going to drop fire his missile launcher, his missile rack beta at this thing. It is a blast 1. I'm not going to bother putting the template on because it is going to only hit one person. Against target number 8. It hits. Thank you, Marcus, for actually hitting for a change. That is max damage that it does because it's a critical hit. So it does in fact.
Marcus has two modes: boom, headshot, and whiff.
Yes, those are basically the way. That's basically the way he works.
No middle ground.
So that hits. That was his barrage. That finishes his turn, I think. Just let me think. Yeah, that finishes Marcus's turn. Let's see. What's the range on that weapon? That is range 8. Okay, so it is now Scourer's turn. Oh,
Okay.
what did I do? What did I do? Oh God, what? There we go.
What did you do? What did you do?
I don't know. Somehow I left the arrow. I had the arrow permanently on the screen. He's gonna fire his thermal lance at you.
Okay.
He has a line shot, but it's passing through here, which means you get soft cover, and it will also miss on a 4+. Like if even if it hits you, it will still miss on a 4+. So cancel. That's gonna be an error. I gotta find a way to safely do that. Anyway, so he has that, and he has 1 difficulty because it's soft cover. Target number 8. So that technically hits, but let's see if. All right, so it still hits. So you take 6 energy damage from the thermal lance.
Okay. Okay, I've lost a structure. Do I get to pick which one I lose?
First, you have custom paint job, correct?
I do.
So If you click on that button,
damn, I do.
you click on that button, it'll roll for you. All right, so it didn't trigger. So you take 1 structure damage.
Yep.
And
which one?
can you please roll me a 1d6?
Okay.
And we will move up so I can look at the structure damage. You rolled a 1, so that is a direct hit. Your mech is stunned until the end of your next turn because you have three or more structure remaining. So we're gonna give you stunned condition. And the stunned condition.
I can't do anything?
Let's see. Stunned. Stunned mechs cannot overcharge, move, or take any actions, including free actions and reactions. Pilots can still mount, dismount, and eject. Stunned mechs have a maximum of 5 evasion and automatically fail all hull and agility checks and saves. So you're stunned until the end of your next turn. That is not good. Not good.
That's not great.
It's
okay. I need to make an engineering save anyways.
He's going to move here. And that'll be his turn. So it is now your turn.
Okay. I don't think I can do anything.
Yeah, I think that's just a straight up.
Yeah, but I still have to make my engineering saves. So.
Well, what do you need your engineering save for?
I'm burning.
Oh yeah, right at the end of your next turn.
I'm on fire.
Okay, so
It's taking my turn to like pull out the fire extinguisher.
All right, so it's your turn.
Yep.
First thing that happens, nothing happens basically during the turn. Then you get to the end of your turn. The stun wears off.
Yep.
So we take off. We'll take off the stun condition. And then you make your engineering check. Sorry, I forgot you were burning and on fire.
It's okay. So I have a +1 to my engineering.
Yeah. If you click on your mech and look under saves, if you just click engineering, it'll add the bonus. And your target number is 10.
Yeah. Value for accuracy. Target is 2. 9.
Oh no! So you burn for 3 damage.
3 more damage?
Yes.
Yep.
Also, any damage that happened over your structure goes into your next set of hit points.
Yep.
Okay. All right, just making sure. So you're dangerously close to dangerously close to popping again.
I'm one bad hit away from popping again, but you know,
So
maybe we'll get lucky.
So this line vanishes. He's gonna move 2, and then unleash heck. Now I need to double check and see if you are within range of this or not. Yes, you will just barely be hit by his flamethrower.
Yeah.
You are just at the very maximum edge.
Assuming he hits.
Yeah, I've had very terrible luck for that. So he's gonna roll against Mac first.
Not Mac, Marcus.
Marcus.
The other Mac.
I have mixed those two up so many times, and I have to apologize to Zev every time I do it. All right.
At least they're similar names.
Okay. Did he fire? Yeah, he fired his flamethrower last turn, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that means.
So I got my burn.
Okay, that means he does that. Okay, so he fires it against Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
No accuracy, no difficulty. Target number 8. He hits Marcus. Marcus takes some damage.
Ow, ow,
And
ow,
he's on
ow,
fire.
Ow, ow.
Marcus is burning. And then you are also an 8. Which hits. So you take another 3 points of burn, and that 3 burn stacks with the 3 burn you already have.
Okay, so I'm at 5 burn now.
Yes.
Assuming I understood the concept.
Oh, we didn't mark
The
your.
countdown right.
No. 1 second. Let me just double check.
Oh, I didn't mark my turn. Yeah, sorry.
Let me just double check burn. I think I said page 67. No, you don't count down burn damage.
Okay, so I'm at
unless you have.
Oh, this is gonna
Yeah.
suck. Okay.
On the upside, you are good at engineering. So.
I am. Well, dubiously.
Yeah. No, I don't want to delete that. I want to move it to this layer. Get it out of the way. And that is his turn. Where's... I have got to get that button in. All right. So, that is the end of the turn.
Okay.
Well, the round. So, now we see if she can finally shoot. Oh my god. She has line of sight. She has not only line of sight,
She can do it!
but she has range to fire her gun, finally.
Save us, girl! Save us!
So she's going to fire at the pyro, who is very clearly the
Good.
biggest threat at the moment. And
Please!
yeah.
Please!
She has, let me double check. She has no accuracy. Technically has 1 difficulty because there will be that fire line. No, because the fire line would have been deployed differently. And the target number is 8. All right, so she hits.
Hey! She did it!
Let me just drop the fire line. It can't go any further than that. But yes, it hits him. Oh, jeez. All right.
Please tell me she killed.
It hits, but it doesn't look like it did much impact at all.
Oh, god damn it.
Kind of like a heavy dent on the armor. And then she's gonna move. She's gonna move there. And then these guys are just gonna kind of crowd in around you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move it there. Okay, so it is
Think.
your turn. You get to
Okay.
choose who's
I'm going first.
Okay.
I'm going first this time before something terrible happens to me.
All right,
I'm
that's
going
good.
to launch my... Before I burn down again, I'm going to launch my mortar at Homeboy here.
Okay, I believe that is a blast 1.
It is a blast 1, so it won't hit the Scourger.
Yeah,
that's
so
okay.
I'm not gonna bother dropping the template then.
It will not... I already checked. It will not hit the Scourger.
Yep.
I'm going to use my ammo case and shoot a shock damage. Or, no. Yeah, I think I'm going to shoot shock, so it does energy damage.
Oh, it is a main ranged weapon, so it does.
It
Okay.
is,
Oh.
Hi.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yep.
shock. Adjacent characters take 1 energy whether the result is a hit or miss. So, mortar.
But there are no adjacent characters, so there's nothing to.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Do I take a difficulty again? Yes, I take a difficulty because it's inaccurate. It's arcing,
So it ignores
so I
cover.
don't need line of sight.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't have any accuracy bonuses. I have 1 difficulty. And I need to hit an 8.
Yes.
No, oh no!
Oh wow.
That was
That
0.
hits the ceiling.
Wow.
That is not so great. My apologies.
That's not great. That's okay. That's okay. I don't think there's anything else I can do. Just knock off that ammo. That would be my luck. I didn't know I could roll a 0.
It's
But I
technically that is a
did.
1.
Oh, well, whatever.
Technically it's a 1.
Oh, and now I have to roll my engineering save.
Well,
please-
you
please
have
pray
more
for me,
actions
everybody.
that you can do.
I can move.
'Cause that was
my full action.
technically... No, your mortar is a main weapon, so that is only a
It is?
quick action to fire it.
Oh, can I shoot
But
again?
if you wanted to instead do a barrage, you could also fire your 2 missile launchers.
Oh, I will do that then.
Yeah. Because
I will do
basically,
that.
when you fire a weapon that has an aux weapon attached to it, like the way your missile launchers are set
Yes.
up, when you fire one, you can
Yep.
also fire the attached aux. So you can fire both your missile launchers at once.
Okay, I will do that. Nope, that misses.
That's a miss.
Jesus Christ. No, I hit the wrong button.
That's fine. Just
0, 8. I'm getting smad, man.
that. Oh, wow.
My
Okay. Okay. This is fine. Everything is
okay,
fine now.
This is not fine. This is not fine. Everything is terrible.
This
I'm
is
just straight monka-ass right now.
okay.
I need to appropriately emote
So
chat
you
here.
can move if you like.
That was the wrong one, but that's okay. No, I'm not going to move because I'm giving cover to all these poor squishies
Okay.
who we established are in pyro range.
Yes, just a brief content warning here. There may be pyro burning of people. Yeah.
What do I have to hit for the engineering again? 8? 6?
It's a 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, if something is...
There goes another structure.
All right, roll me a d6, please.
1 second.
Oh my god. This fight was supposed to be quick.
You clearly have never met me trying to roll literally anything in my life. I pushed the wrong button.
I was expecting the ground. Oh, okay, that's an O. This is O. Oh god.
It's okay. It's okay.
Do you want me to tell you what it
I'm
says?
just gonna die in my own problem.
This is another one.
What? Yep.
Two structure. Roll a hull check.
Oh no.
On a success, your mech
no.
is stunned
Oh,
until
I'm
the end of your next turn. On a failure, your mech is destroyed.
It's blown up. Right. Oh, good. Oh.
So please.
We're doing this on
Okay.
Hey,
okay. You're
18!
stunned. You're stunned until the end of your next turn, though.
Okay.
And you will continue to burn. All right, so that's the end of your turn.
I'm gonna take my free action to tell the NPCs to back the fuck up.
GTFO. The first of her
Please
name.
back up.
The first of her name may be the
Please.
last of her name.
It's gonna be the only of her name at this rate.
Okay. To give Marcus a chance to potentially make some difference here, the Scourer is going to go next. He has not moved since the end of his last turn, so he clears all his heat with the cooling module, and he's going to take a shot at Marcus through soft cover. So he has 1 difficulty against target number 8, and there's basically a 50-50 chance that, yeah, so that doesn't hit. Basically, the thermal lance just kind of gets distorted against and impacts against the wall. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
He's gonna back away from this insanity that's happening here. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, this happened. This is happening. This is
that is
continuing
the-
to happen.
that is the Scourer's turn. It's now Marcus's turn. He's... Jesus. what does Marcus do?
Oh, right, we're taking off this turn. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What does Marcus do? Oh my god. He's gonna spend a full action to stabilize. So that he is going to cool his mech, removing all heat in his exposed status. Okay, he has neither of those. He's going to take one of his repair off and fully heal. I might also suggest you think about doing this in sometime in the future. It doesn't restore his structure, but it heals him.
I'm stunned, so I can't, but...
And additionally, he's going to choose to reload all his loading weapons. So that reloads his anti-material rifle, and his 2 missile racks. However, he is going to overcharge as well. Because at this point...
Go.
At this point, you kind of have to. Let me just double check the overcharge. Yep. This is the second time he's overcharged. So he's going to roll 1d3. He takes 1 heat. And he's going to spend that to fire his assault rifle at the pyro. He's going to use the thumper. Because basically trying to knock this thing out of range. Jesus. And he's gonna fire.
Please.
Hey! He hits, and he does. All right. So he impacts for 6 points of damage, but some of the bullets kind of bounce off. But he also knocks back 1. So the pyro gets knocked back to here.
Right.
And then Marcus is going to follow that up by moving into engagement range.
Okay.
No, he's not. I just realized that is a terrible idea. Marcus is going to stay exactly where he is. And,
yeah, good call.
Yes, Marcus is going to stay exactly where he is and finish his turn up. At the very least, you're acting as shielding for those poor civilians.
Yep. Who I took my free action to tell them to back up.
All right, so let's see how far 5 goes from this guy.
It'll take Marcus, but it won't hit me. I think.
Okay. Oh.
It won't hit any of us.
This wall clears. No, it'll help Marcus.
It'll hit Marcus. It won't hit me or the civilians.
If he moves first, though, it will hit everybody.
If he moves, it will. If it moves, we're gonna have some fucking barbecue tonight.
But I'm going to be kind. And
Yes, thank you. The DM hand of mercy against the fact that I can't roll to save my life right now, literally.
Hand of mercy being the one who is almost party wiping during a prologue mission. And he's going to...
God agrees, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to attack Marcus. That's a thing that happens. No accuracy, no difficulty, target number of 8. Oh god. Oh Marcus. Oh Jesus.
Oh Marcus. This pyro.
Okay. I actually realized I didn't roll for Marcus's engineering roll at the end of his turn. Because he's on fire.
Well.
He didn't save, so he should have taken an extra 3 points of damage. Yeah, and he's now at 6 burning. So he's having the same trouble you are at the moment. God, what have I done? What have I done?
What have you done? Something within temptation.
And this guy's gonna back up.
Poorly.
I think. Yeah, he's gonna back up.
This is going poorly.
Oh, this is literally one of those "this is fine" moments.
Yeah, no. And
you're sitting in your mech. Everything's burning around you. This is
literally-
fine. This is totally fine.
This is literally just like 5 bad rolls in a row
Oh,
on both ends.
All right. So she is going. Wait. I have to drop this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 tokens there.
It started so well.
So she's gonna take her pot shot at this guy back here. Just hope. Because he's within range and technically can see him. No accuracy, but 1 difficulty against target number 8. Nope.
Nope.
She can't see through the distortion and smoke and all that fun stuff. Can she get... Alright, so she's going to move there. That leaves her in hard cover. These count as hard cover.
Oh, yeah.
Because of her size.
Right.
These guys are gonna. You know what? Let's let everybody just kind of shuffles back slightly behind the giant mech.
Yeah. That is currently on fire, but that's okay.
Look, it's better than the glob of fire that is coming towards them. They could be coming towards them.
It's true.
All right, so that is the end of the round. It is the beginning of the next round, and it is your choice as to who goes first. I would like to remind you
I may as well go.
I will like to remind you that
stunned.
Marcus has an anti-material rifle ready to fire.
Right. You know what? He can
And-
go first. I'm stunned. I can't do anything. My
Yeah.
turn first would be wasted.
Yeah, so he's going to ready the shit out of that anti-material rifle.
The last
he-
time I let him go first was when all of this kicked off.
He is going to hope like hell that he can hit his target. Because here's the wonderful thing. The anti-material rifle is armor piercing.
That's right.
Yes. And it does 2d6 damage.
On,
This is more
on
than enough
Europa.
to do this. This is one of those moments
Come on.
where we need him to be, no, you know what he's going to do first, in fact? He is going to overcharge again at the very beginning of his
Yeah.
turn.
Twitch chat, give Marcus your energy.
He is going to
Charge the spirit
overcharge
bomb.
for 1d6 heat.
Mhm.
So he's going to take 5 heat. Marcus doesn't care. That hits his heat capacity.
Mhm.
He burns through one of his reactor stress. Marcus gives 0 fucks at this point. Overheating table.
Marcus has one job. Yep.
Roll 1d6. That's a 2. Destabilize power plant. The power plant becomes unstable, beginning to eject jets of plasma. Your mech becomes exposed, taking double kinetic, explosive, and energy damage until the status is cleared. Marcus gives no shits at this point. Oh. Marcus doesn't care. Marcus has exposed. He doesn't care. He uses that free action that quick action to lock on to the pyro.
That a boy.
We're going full end of Gundam 00 at this point.
Yeah. Come on, lock on. Come on, lock on.
He's gonna fire his anti-material rifle and expend that lock on.
Lock on. Lock on.
So,
Lock on.
God damn it, Harold. And he's going. Let me just double check what expose does to make sure that this is not going to. All right, this is gonna do nothing to hurt him at all. Difficulty. That's a hit. That is a hit. I just put the
That's a
number.
hit.
I put the number in wrong. That is
11's a hit, man.
the blast pierces through the center of the mech. and sends it scattering backwards to the ground. Oh. Oh. Now, after all of that, Marcus has to do an engineering check because Marcus is still on fire. This mech is on fire.
This mech is on fire!
He is hurting. Come on. And he puts out the fire. Whew. Marcus.
One of us isn't too stupid to use the fucking flame fire extinguisher.
Marcus has had a turn. Marcus had a turn. He is exposed, however.
I need a fucking Xanax after this.
Okay. All right. That is the end of Marcus's turn. It is now the Scourer's turn.
It's not the Pyro's turn.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Scourer is going to fire his thermal lance at Marcus.
Of course he is. I don't think he's hit with that like once though. So.
No, he hit once. A grand total of once against you.
He's about to roll a 20.
Okay.
He's about to roll a 20. I want you to know this.
No difficulty. Target number 8. He hits. I would like to point out the exposed status doubles that damage.
Oh no.
So Marcus takes 12 points of damage. So
yes.
He, however, has... What? Marcus does not have a custom paint job? So he's gonna blow. He's gonna blow through some structure, and so I gotta roll structure damage for him. Oh, Marcus is stunned until the end of his next turn.
Oh, good. This little asshole's getting free reign because I'm still stunned.
That does make it the end of his turn, though.
Okay, makes it my turn.
Which now makes it your turn.
Okay, I am stunned, so I'm gonna make my engineering check. Come on. Please. Please. Twitch chat, give me your energy. Please. I'm not on fire!
Huzzah! And your stun wears off, so you can actually do something next turn.
Something, yay!
You're not burning. Your stun is gone.
I guess I can't overcharge on this turn, eh?
No, you can't do any actions at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I finally figured out the pull trigger on the fire extinguisher. That's what I'm spending my turn doing.
Look, it's a big mech. There's lots of fire to put out. All right.
That's true. It's pretty big.
So that marks the end of your turn. I'll put your turn marker on. Little Miss Pissed Off over here is gonna go now and put a bullet into the Scourer.
Think.
Technically has soft cover from her because of the mech in the way.
Oh, yeah.
That still hits.
Yep.
That is
Think.
That is solid. It actually goes into in through the armor and inside the mech. Not quite destroyed, but good enough. And the rest of these guys are just kind of gonna move up. Now that the danger of being barbecued is out of the way.
Yeah. We're no longer on the menu, boys.
Yeah. So now we're around the next turn. However, players technically took the last action. So it is this guy's turn. He clears all his heat. Scourer clears his heat. I apologize for this. He's gonna fire his thermal lance at Marcus.
Oh no!
Okay, so
Come on, miss! Come on, miss! Nope.
now here's the part where you're really gonna hate
12
me.
damage.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's enough to wreck him. Oh.
So Marcus takes 5 burn and 12 energy damage. So he takes 17 points of 17 points of damage. Europa is just being battered.
Pummeled. Yeah.
I'm not. This mech is just in
It's seen some shit.
terrible shape.
It's seen some shit.
But I have to roll for his. Have we rolled anything but a 1 for structure
No.
damage?
No. That's 3 in a row.
Oh my god, he has to do a hull
Like,
check.
it's not just me, right?
Yes.
It's not just me, right? Like,
On a hull check. If he succeeds, he is stunned until the end of his next turn. On a failure, his
That's
mech
better
is
than it could be.
destroyed.
that's what could be worse.
Here's the thing, he has no ejector seat either. That is literally a system you can get.
Don't
He does not have one.
let me be the asshole that killed Marcus. Don't let me be this bitch.
Oh my god. All right. Give Marcus everything you've got, folks, because he has to pass a hull check. Whew. Okay. He's stunned. He is just stunned. All right. That is the end of that is the end of the Scourer's turn.
There, but for the grace of God, oh my.
No, he's going to move forward.
Okay.
He is going to move forward.
Oh, jeez.
That is the end of his turn.
Okay.
Can Marcus have a turn just to clear his stun status? You get to go next
Marcus
anyway.
may have this turn. Yes, Marcus may have this turn.
Marcus is just going to clear his stun status. And then that's his turn, and it's yours.
This combat has taken a week off my life. Okay. I'm not stunned.
Wait.
going to take an-
Wait. Marcus is burning.
What? Marcus is burning.
He also manages to work his fire extinguisher as well. The fire suppression system manages to do its job. And
This combat has taken 2 weeks off my life.
okay, so it is now your turn. What do you got?
Hang on.
What
An
do you
anxiety
got?
disorder.
Yeah. Aside from that,
Okay.
what do you have for me?
Stabilizing is an action, right?
Stabilizing is a full action.
That's
So here,
fine.
yeah.
I'm going to stabilize.
Okay. That will
That
clear.
restores. Does that
all-
restore HP?
You can spend. Okay, you remove all heat and the exposed status.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
spend a
Nope, don't
repair,
like
it will fully heal all
Yep.
HP, and then you get to pick
that. Okay.
one choice from the list, which I expect you're going to pick the one that lets you reload all your weapons.
Yeah, reload. Okay, hang on. I do have a thing. I have
Okay.
a thing. Hang on.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay.
I have a thing.
Okay.
No, I don't. I thought I did. Wait.
That's the thing that lets you repair structure. That I think you're thinking of.
Yes. Oh, that's
When
when,
you-
it's when I'm resting. Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. Okay. Okay. That is what I was thinking of. Yeah, the replaceable parts. Okay. So I'm gonna repair hit points. Back up to 12 on 2 structure.
Okay.
I'm going to reload. Can I reload all my guns or just one?
It reloads everything.
Okay, I'm gonna reload everything.
Okay. May I now
I'm
suggest?
going to take my move.
Yeah, that you move and then you overcharge and you
I was going-
attack.
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I'm gonna move.
I would not
gonna
move
punch him.
into. I would not move like that though,
Oh,
because that puts you in
Okay.
engage.
I'm gonna move. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, I'm gonna move there, so Marcus should still benefit from hard cover from me.
Yes.
I just need to check something. Okay, good. I'm going to drop my mortar on this motherfucker again.
Okay. Where exactly are you going to land
No,
it?
hang on.
Because
Oh,
it
wait,
is
no,
a.
I can't.
it
Wait,
is a-
I can't do that. I can't do that because it's not. Oh, it is. It's quick action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. If you fire skirmishing is a quick action. I need to know exactly where
Okay.
you're firing your mortar, though. And I will tell you this:
I'm going to fire.
it is a blast 2 weapon.
Go ahead.
So aim carefully.
Mortar's blast 1.
Oh yes, mortar is only a blast 1.
It's how it's blast
All right. All right.
Yep.
So you're gonna drop it straight on
Yep.
this son
I
of
am
a
going to
bitch.
drop it right on this motherfucker. I'm going to drop it right on this motherfucker, and
Okay.
I'm going to use I'm going to use shock again
Okay.
because it seems to be the only armor type that he hasn't resisted yet. Mortar. No accuracy. 1 difficulty. Rolling for an 8. Please pray for me, Twitch. 14!
All right. That's a hit. But
3 explosive and 1 energy.
no, the
I
energy,
think.
all the explosive gets converted to energy.
Oh, the energy shoots outwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I
And
see. I
you
see.
do 1 damage to it to one
Okay.
person around him. However, the electrical currents just sort of crackle around him, and it doesn't seem like he takes any damage from it.
Okay, whatever. I did 3 damage to him.
Okay.
Oh, can I barrage or does that require the full action?
That requires the full action.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes. Okay. So that
then,
will.
hang on. I'm going to. I have a frame trait called Heroism that once a scene lets me brace without sacrificing any action movements on its following turn. I'm gonna do that.
The brace is a
Not that it
reaction.
matters because I'm not.
Brace is a reaction
Oh,
to you being shot
okay,
at. Yeah.
Never mind then. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah. So
Ignore me.
basically, yeah,
That's my turn.
All right. So we'll get rid of your turn marker.
Oh
if
wait,
you
hang
want.
on. I'm gonna use my free action. I'm gonna use my free action to like yell curses at him.
All right. That's
To
the
talk as a free action.
correct
So.
way to do this. All right. So remove your turn marker while this totally blue-haired individual who has not been named to this point lines up her shot.
Bitch, kill him.
And no accuracy, 1 difficulty against the target number 8.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess what?
She just killed him, didn't she? What? She killed him.
She put a shot
killed him.
straight through it, and you see energy ripple outwards in the mech, shut down.
Yeah, I didn't get a fucking kill of my own. Doesn't matter.
So that moves him to the down and out status.
Fuck yeah.
But she's now going to dash 4, and seeing
Yeah.
the enemies down, they are going to go as well. All right, we are now going to continue to proceed in turn order. So we're hitting the next round.
Yep.
Just move once per round to where you would like to be. Marcus is actually going to take this turn to stabilize.
Okay.
Clear his exposed, restore his health, and reload all his weapons. And then people are gonna move. Everybody's just kind of running and scattering. Okay, and now it's yours.
I'm just going to assume I'm not stepping on people
Yeah.
and I can.
Yeah, they
comfortably
can
shoot
occupy the
space.
same square as you because they are small enough.
Yeah. Oh no. I don't like that sound.
Okay. Marcus is going to dupe. These people are going to run over here. But.
Oh no, I don't like that. But.
Can you please roll me
No.
a skill check?
Okay.
No, you know what? Roll me systems, please.
Systems? Okay. Oh no, I know what this is. What am I beating? 10?
Yeah, we'll do a 10.
Okay. 16!
Your sensors flash,
Oh,
and you hear the beeping sound of new targets as across the way,
Oh no.
3 silver flashes appear, and 3 mechs
Oh no!
that you've never seen before.
It's Harbinger!
Designs that you have never seen flash into existence. It is your turn.
Oh no. Okay. Hang on. Range check. Almost. Okay.
I will remind you at
Stop
this
that.
point, your job is to get the civilians into the escape craft.
Yep. 3, 4. Back. Locking on's a quick action, right?
Yes, it has to be within sensor range, though.
Oh shit, what's my sensor range? Don't worry, I'll find it.
Should be a 10, I think. Either an 8 or a 10.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, they're way out of range. Okay, fuck it. They're within 20 range, so here comes the howitzer. Oh no, wait, shit, I can't fire the howitzer. Fuck!
Yeah, because you moved.
It's ordnance. I have to shoot first. Okay, I'm going to park here, and I'm going to activate. Is there a range? Into my heavy ranged weapons. Okay. Oh no, it's within 10 spaces. Fuck, there's nothing I can do right now. I'm gonna sit here and I have full hit points. All of my weapons are full. There's no way to hold an action, is there?
You can prepare.
Okay.
It's just like in 5e. You choose which target, what you're going to prepare, and what your trigger is.
Okay, I'm gonna prepare a barrage action.
You cannot prepare a full
soon
action.
as- Okay.
You can
Oh,
only-
okay.
Yeah, you can only prepare.
Then I'm gonna prepare. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna shoot my mortar with the thumper ammo. Thumper? Yeah. I'm gonna prepare my mortar with a thumper ammo as soon as one of them hits 15 range of me.
Okay. Okay. So can you mark your turn?
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just keeping
Okay,
track.
yes, this one day. Yep. Nope. Thank you for reminding me. I'm a down.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. I'm just pre-measuring here.
I'm really glad I put that extra point into hull.
4. This one moves across the top,
Okay.
and then
Oh, he's within 13, so I can shoot my mortar at him immediately.
yes.
Okay, so I'm using thumper ammo.
Okay.
So it'll knock him back 1 if it hits.
Yes. It is against
mortar.
a 8. No, wait, 12.
Against 12.
Yes.
12.
Yes, 12. That's a hit.
17.
That is
Asshole.
that is a hit.
So 2 explosive damage, and he gets knocked back 1.
Now. Okay. Takes 2 damage. Where did you land the hit? Because he gets
Probably directly on him.
okay. Because he gets blown away from the spot where the hit is.
Oh, okay. In which case, I'd probably have aimed kind of in front of him.
Okay. So he knocks back 1. All right. So then he's going to spend a quick action boosting,
Okay.
and
That's fine. Got him half as far as he wanted to go.
he is going to put. He is going to use that,
Oh no.
and he's going to
He has
use it
resistance to that target's damage. Oh, good. Okay.
here.
I'm gonna die in my own prologue, guys. Oh no! Everyone's gonna die in my prologue, guys.
Target located. Initiate combat.
And that is his turn. Marcus's turn. Marcus moves up. No, before he moves, let me get range. He's going to fire his anti-material rifle at the melee that just locked
Oh, boy.
on. No accuracy, no difficulty. Target number 12. That is a miss. The shot
That's a
goes
miss.
wide. Very wide. All right. And then Marcus moves forward. And he's not going to overcharge because he is already overcharged 3 times at this point. So he's generating at least
Yeah, you bet.
five heat every time now.
Okay.
But he is going to take his time and say, make sure they get on the shuttle. I'll give you cover.
Roger.
And that is his turn.
Marcus is fucking dead.
Now, he's, how far does this guy move? Right, did I get this guy right? Oh no, he should actually be here.
Oh. Okay.
Because I just misread which one had which speed. He's gonna move forward.
Okay.
That's gonna be his turn. He's gonna move forward. That'll be his turn.
Shit. Okay.
She's gonna run for the ship. Everybody's running for the ship.
She is.
Everybody's running for the ship
Yeah,
at this
they-
point.
Yeah, they is.
And at the top of the round, your systems flash again,
Oh,
and
no.
3 more appear at the very edge of your senses.
Oh no. God, fuck. Why? Okay. Okay.
Okay. It's your turn. You may choose what you do.
It's my turn. That's right. Okay.
This will be a point where I will remind you of something I said earlier. Before game.
We're running out of time. Oh, railroady. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. I'm gonna open my turn by leveling my howitzer at this guy
Okay, that'll hit
because
everybody.
it's a blast 2.
Yep.
Yep. Howitzer difficulty and 12. You said?
Okay, which the melee is 12.
Okay.
The
No, I'm aiming
other-
for the guy in the middle.
The guy in the middle is 8. Yeah, but you have to roll for each of them
Oh,
individually.
Right. Right.
So when
okay.
you're rolling for him,
Okay,
it's
I'll
12,
aim for-
and everybody else is 8.
Yep. Okay, I'll go top, middle, bottom. How about that?
So the first one's against a 12.
Okay. First one misses.
Yep.
Second one 8 also misses.
What? How?
Third one, yeah, right? I don't know. Third one, 1 8 on the bottom one again, or is the 8 the bottom one immediately?
It's 8 on the bottom one as well.
8 also misses. All right. 1,
How?
2,
How?
3. No. therefore lands me there.
Yeah, you can
But
just
we'll
over you
assume
can
that
just
I'm
overlap the edge of that
thing.
if you want to remove
Yep.
your marker.
Yep. Where to go? State, turn marker. Okay.
Okay. This guy goes.
For
Mark-
my free action, I'm gonna gesture to the civilians to just like keep running.
All right, he's gonna go. He moves here. Let me just go double check what something does.
Marcus is so dead, y'all.
And where 6 will put him. All right, and the assassin is going to use leap. So he's going to land right there. Marcus has to make an agility save or be knocked prone. Save target is 10. Oh no.
Nope. Marcus is dead. She's a full anime
Prone.
pro tag now, guys.
Sure go. It's Marcus's go actually. Let me go see. Let me just double check what prone does. Because a lot of attacks against prone targets receive +1 accuracy. Prone target characters are slowed and count as moving in difficult terrain. Characters can remove prone by standing up instead of taking their standard move. So he's going to stand up.
Okay.
Oh boy. And
Oh boy.
he's going to use his anti-material rifle and just smash it against this mech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no. But the thing is too fast.
Oh, no.
And it dodges the blow. So let's remove prone and turn. Alright, I forgot this guy also needs his turn marker removed.
Can't believe how wrong this has gone.
That's how it happens. All right, so I'm just gonna move the other ones all at once.
Okay.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it is the turn of the humans. Oop. If I can get to the right token. 1, 2, 3, 4. So close. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is your turn.
Okay.
Marcus comes over the comm again once more. Get them the hell out of here. I can hold them off.
I'm going to take my action to barrage the assassin. So that's a mortar and then 2
this one?
missiles.
Okay.
The one that's tangoing with Marcus, yeah.
Yeah. Let's make sure I have.
So no, okay. So the mortar is gonna go first. It's 1 difficulty and we're beating 12. It's 12, 3 explosive damage in its face, and then I'm gonna unload my missiles.
Okay. Right.
Unless it's dead, I don't think
Nope.
it is though.
It's still standing.
Missile 1 misses.
First one misses. And
Two
second one
That's
misses.
fine.
You're
Okay,
very
take my
panicky,
move.
Io.
Yeah.
Very panicky.
Yeah. Look. Io hasn't had to deal with this as long as she can remember. So.
I forgot. These guys should have the turn markers turned off because this is the turn we're turning them on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and then state turn marker. Okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna take my free action. I'm gonna take my free action to say you better be behind me.
Okay.
To Marcus.
So, the melee grunt's turn. He's going to swing with his heated blade at Marcus. I just gotta double check the stats on this thing. Jesus.
I don't like this.
Oh, whew. Marcus deftly dodges it. And the assassin's going to step around him.
Oh, I see what's about to happen.
Okay, state. Turn Mark. It's Marcus's turn. Marcus is going to... Let me double check how engaged works. Ranged attacks made by an engaged character receive -1. No one cares. As Marcus fires a barrage. Fires. What's the range on his missile rack? 10. No, Marcus is going to move away, which means he's going to get going to provoke Overwatch. His mech takes 4 points of damage. He doesn't care.
Well.
He's gonna fire his machine gun at the melee assassin. That mech just is rattled with bullets and blinks out of existence.
I know this is supposed to be very mecha, but I think Tomino directed this one, guys. Like Zeta era Tomino, not even turn A.
Then he's gonna fire both rocket launchers at this assault grunt. Not rocket launchers, missile launchers.
Hey!
That's a solid 4 damage. That's actually because he doesn't have the... Because he's being treated as a PC. So that's full damage. And a second one. And...
Hey!
This mech also blinks out of existence. And that is Marcus's turn. Okay, and these guys
Oh boy.
are just gonna move forward. Okay, so let's mark them as having their turn done. And let's see how many we can get on the ship. All right. The full civilian complement is now on board the ship.
Yay!
Okay. However, at the end of the turn, the end of the round, sorry, 3 more
No.
blink into
No!
existence. And then something flashes into existence in front of them.
Post. Oh, fuck.
Host designate on site.
All right. It's your round.
Scream that make Reaper's noises? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with my move. 1, 2, 3. That just gets me, like, on the lip, I guess, of the ship.
Yep.
Okay.
I will
and I'm
rem-
gonna shoot my mortar.
I will remind you, one of your actions is a boost action.
Oh, right, I can dash, can't I?
Yes. But you can
Okay,
fire
I'm gonna...
your mortar and then
Yeah,
do it if you
okay.
want to, as long as you have
Yeah,
range.
okay, I'm gonna fire my... Yeah, I'm I'm gonna fire my mortar at this guy. He's just inside the range of it.
Yep. I have measured
Mortar,
distances.
I'm not even bothered. Okay. Is he an 8 or a 12?
He is an 8.
Nope.
That's a miss. You hit the pit. Like it lands in the pit next to him, and
Oh.
there's like a puff of smoke
Right.
as it bursts up.
Okay. I'm gonna take my. I guess I'm gonna boost and
Okay.
just get in well inside. I
And
assume that's
then-
well inside.
Yeah. Then you hear Marcus's voice call out. All right. Take him away, Mac. And the gate of the transport ship starts to close.
I'm too rattled to do anything about it.
And as the gate closes, you hear the voice of one of the people that came on the ship yell out a expletive and demands that the door be opened. And then once more, from outside, you hear the sound of gunfire and explosions. And it continues until the ship starts to slowly lift off and disappear into the darkness of space.
Just gonna open the cockpit and vent the smoke.
And
Just-
as the adrenaline cuts down and you come down off of the high, the combat high, the displays of the exterior of the ship show the transport vessel slowly drifting down into the atmosphere, and fire begins to crawl up around it as the atmosphere burns away the outer layers of the hull. And now with your cockpit open, you can hear the sad sobs of one of the members of the crew that you rescued. And I think that may be where we call this episode for this evening. All right. So there was that. How are you feeling?
Feels bad, man.
Okay.
Feels bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I got the sense that that was gonna be how it ended when it started, but God, rolling like dog shit for like
Yeah.
4 rounds in a row. Just
That did not
absolute
that did not
ass.
go in anybody's favor.
I would probably feel better if that was not, you know?
All right. So, do you have anything to cover before we're like anything to say before we finish up for the evening?
Everybody go drink some water.
Yeah.
Just, you know, in general, go drink some water.
Yeah, I'm almost out. of my
Especially if you're
bottle
gonna
here.
be bitter, sad tears, go drink some water. But no, this is fun. I'm looking forward to the campaign starting properly, and I'm looking forward to everyone else's prologues.
Yeah. And on the topic of everybody else's prologues, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern,
Okay.
will be Big Tex with Vincent. And then next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. again will be Neo with, I believe the character's name was Amit, was the name that was settled on. And actually, they are going to be finishing making the character over on their channel right now. That is Neo Soul God, if you want to watch the rest of that. Let me just.
They're both hanging out in chat right now. You can click on their names.
I will also link that directly. On that note, Neo also runs a D&D campaign called Seek Money Academy, which I believe airs tomorrow at Tex, what time is it at? You are in that game. I don't recall the time off the top of my head, and I don't have a tweet open. I apologize desperately for that. But 7:30 CST, so 8:30 Eastern.
Yep.
And watch that. That's awesome. They have an awesome cast there as well. What else? I think that's it for now.
Go follow us all on Twitter and Twitch.
Yes.
If you like this, he's also 5 Square on Twitter.
Yeah. There is me here. I have Red Wizard Iron. That's my personal account. I'm also 5 Square on Twitter, which is kind of the channel / website account. I manage pretty much all of that myself. Thank you to everybody who followed this evening. Thank you to everybody who stopped in and watched this little bit different episode.
Everything went to shit.
Hopefully next time goes a little bit better for everybody involved. Maybe a little bit less death. We'll see. But thank you very much for stopping by, and we hope to see you all on Sunday. Have a good night.
Bye.
Have I become a little too shy for love? I've been hurt before. All's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in. And if I let you in, another round begins. No, I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side.
Should I be scared? The feeling's so different now. You got me floating here, a feather in the air. Oh, but when the wind blows, will I tumble or sail away? Or would you have me stay? And what if I escape? I know
I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. I breathe? What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I